Welcome back to Strings and Pucks. This is Jeremy Laura and it's another Gear Review Friday. This week I wanted to talk about my acoustic rig for my live streams. My coffee mug this week comes from Ubi. I've got his channel link in the description for multiple reasons. First, the embrace the suck attitude of learning and working toward your dreams, but also Ubi is responsible for helping me to be able to do live streaming and so many things. So I want to thank you, Ubi. Get a swig. And let's talk about my acoustic rig. I just recorded a couple of songs that you've either already seen or you'll be seeing soon for my Wednesday releases. So I wanted to go through and tell you what I'm using, what I would do differently, and what I would do the same for not just recording but live streaming. So of course this all starts with my acoustic guitar right here. This guitar is a Fender Paramount PM-3. It's got a solid spruce top, solid rosewood back and sides, mahogany neck, ebony fretboard, abalone inlays, got a bone nut, got vintage size nickel frets, ebony bridge pins. This guitar, it was something I got in 2016. Now this guitar, I should tell you, when I decided to get it, it's a little smaller body, closer to the triple O model like an Eric Clapton would use. It's got the cutaway, which I like. I've got kind of big hands, and they don't make this exact model anymore because just a couple of years after I bought it, for those of you who remember, there was a CITES ban. This has rosewood back and sides. It's a lot of rosewood, and for a brief moment in time, rosewood was banned from musical instruments. So I kind of got lucky when I got this one. But again, the quality is exceptional. Fender's not always known for having the best acoustic electrics, but I enjoy the tones that I get. So what you're hearing now is a combination of the electronics with some delay and reverb, as well as some bleed through the condenser mic here. I think just a beautiful ringing tone. I love this instrument, but again, if I hadn't gotten one of these around 2016, I probably wouldn't have one. So this has been my primary and most of the time only acoustic for going on 10 years now. And it's served me incredibly well. And I find that the rosewood back and sides projects a little bit more than mahogany. You can have that argument all day. I'm just going by what I felt when I've tried different guitars out, that I find rosewood to be a little softer. Mahogany is very deep and very resonant, just a different type of beautiful sound. And with the solid spruce top, I find that I just get this great projection. It'll cut through the mix really well for me. Have the debate on your own. I'm just telling you what I found. So from here, I've got my mic. This is an MXL. It's a mic you don't see much anymore. It's the CR24 Black. I got this in a combination package in 2009, where this came with a pencil microphone. The two together were about $99. Now I've had this mic for 16 years. So when I started live streaming, being able to use something I already had was a great benefit. I'd use this for home studio recording. I have to use the pop filter though, because if I don't, it overloads. So understand, when you're using a mic like this, you need the included shock mount, and I personally need a pop filter for it. So those are the basis of my sound, and these are things I already had. Is one of the issues when you want to start making videos for YouTube or live streaming is how much are you going to have to invest. Being able to use the equipment I already had was a huge blessing. This mic on its own, it's similar to the MXL 990, I believe, and you can get those for around $90, or with a pencil mic for $100 combined. So there are good deals available for a mic less than $100 that I think performs very, very well. I find that this is a great alternative if you're not ready to invest in something like a Shure mic or a Blue mic or an AKG, microphones that can run you into the several hundreds, even thousands of dollars. I found a very good alternative for less than $100. So that's what I'm using here. I run both of these into my Boss VE-8 acoustic processor. That's another item I've had since that one I got around 2016, 2017. The reason I got the Boss VE-8, typically now retail, you're going to get these for about $400. I've seen them for as little as $250 on Reverb and eBay. You have to be careful. I tried to buy a used one once and it was non-functioning. But for me, I love this guitar. I love this processor because I get my acoustic effects. So right there, I'm using echo, but I can change the effect. Here's a chorus effect. Sounds absolutely beautiful. I typically use delay. There's a tremolo. Turn it up so you can hear. A phaser. So you have plenty of effects to choose from, and then of course you've got your reverb. Here's with it all the way off. Here's with it all the way up. And of course you get hall, room, and I believe plate reverb. So you do have 3 types of reverb you can use. There's also an acoustic notch filter, acoustic resonance, where you can change the shape of the sound if you want. I leave it off often because I find it compresses a bit, but for tone shaping, there's so much in this pedal for the guitar part, but also for the vocal part. I typically use reverb while I'm performing. So here's some vocal reverb. We walk under the same blue sky each day. So I get a lot out of just the reverb, and a couple of functions I don't use. There is a vocal enhancing function. Here's what it sounds like. 'Cause my sunlight is blocked by the clouds, and only the darkness seems clear to me now. And you can hear it, it'll kind of do funny things while I'm talking. And there's a harder version and a softer version. 'Cause my sunlight is blocked by the clouds, and only the darkness seems clear to me now. Again, I don't really use it, but there is an auto harmony feature I don't use probably often enough. This is 2-part harmony. And what it does is analyze the chord you're playing. I use it in auto mode, but you can assign it to a key. In auto mode, it analyzes the chord and then produces the harmony it thinks you're going to want. 'Cause my sunlight is blocked by the clouds, and only the darkness seems clear to me now. It's hard to push back all the hurt, like praying for diamonds but living in dirt. Anyway, a very cool feature, and all of this combined in one pedal. So that was really the impetus for picking this up. There's also a looper built in, so for between $250 used and $400 new, you get a lot cram packed into this pedal. And again, I've had it for a long time, and being able to use the gear that I already had was a big step forward for me. And for live streaming, this gives me a lot of what I like. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the vocal reverb there. From the Boss VE-8, I go into the iRig Duo Pro. And one of the reasons I got this is I did not have a computer when I started streaming. So I wanted to be able to record using a processor. The iRig Duo Pro, it's got 2 inputs. I run the VE-8 out in mono mode with the voice to one channel and the acoustic to the other. I find I get a really good reproduction through here directly into the iPad. What I did not know when I got this though, because you're going to pay around $200 for one of these. I love it. I've gotten a lot of great use. But you cannot live stream with this device, especially through StreamYard on YouTube. It disconnects all these types of devices for external mics. You can use a headset mic, but you can't use something like this. And I was hoping that you could, so it was a great frustration to find out. But the iRig Duo Pro, and one of the reasons I got it, came with a lightning adapter that works with my iPad, a Type-C adapter that works with my phone, and a USB adapter that works with the laptop. That's where Ubi comes in. He was able to get me a laptop, and that's how I've started live streaming. So this same device I can use for recording as well as streaming, but I can only use it for streaming with the laptop. So when I'm using the laptop, it's a Windows-based laptop. This has been incredibly easy to use. As long as you download the driver, it integrates really easily. It recognizes the device as soon as it's turned on, but you have to download the driver and check for software updates. That's something I'm learning. The final component to all this was using a camera. And on my live streams, it came alive for me when I began to use my iPhone with the app Camo. I had to download that app onto both the laptop and the camera. It's got to be on both. Then I was getting really clear footage, even though I'm still not shooting in high definition, because StreamYard, to do high definition, you have to move to the paid version. But the picture is so much clearer just using Camo with the phone that I already had. So again, in all these things, the biggest purchases I made were the iRig Duo Pro, and then Ubi helped me to get the laptop. Everything else were what I had lying around because I'd worked doing touring and things, so I tried to use the equipment that I have as much as possible. So for a live stream, for me it was important to try to be able to use a mic, to try to be able to add some reverb, to get similar performances of what I would do on a stage. This rig helps me to do that. However, if I were to do it all over, so if you're currently using your device and you want to be able to run your guitar direct, a microphone, the iRig devices are really good for that. You just have to decide if it's something within your price range. At this point moving forward, if I were to do this all again and I had a laptop or a computer, I probably, if I wasn't using my mobile devices, I probably would not use the iRig, because companies like Gemini and Alto have USB-based mixers that have onboard effects. In some cases, for $120, you can get 4 channels where you could run those things simultaneously. Of course, I really only need 2, but I could run my guitar directly, I could run my mic directly, I could even run a mic on the guitar as well and blend those. And because of the way I have this mic so hot, I am blending a mic'd signal for the guitar as well as the direct input. So it's not as simple as it looks, but it's been very, very effective for me. But going forward, I would probably get a USB mixer, because again, you can get a single channel mixer for as low as $60 right now. And for $120, you can get a Gemini with 4 channels, plus additional channels for things like MP3 inputs. So just being fully honest, if I'd had a computer to begin with, I probably wouldn't use the iRig Duo Pro. But if you have mobile devices and that's your primary means for recording, these work terrific. And they'll work with a PC, laptop, Mac if you decide to get one and need a USB. So there is crossover appeal. But again, for streaming on mobile devices, StreamYard's very unfriendly to using accessories. So my original streams you'll see is the iPad and its mic and playing the best that I could. Because again, as Chris from BCG 5150 says, you use what you have now. I regret waiting so long to start a live stream because I wanted things as close to perfect as they could be. They're never going to be perfect, and I kept waiting and waiting to try to get closer. But thanks to Ubi's help, I now have a platform where I'm doing what I consider to be good live streams, sometimes even very good. I have a lot to learn still to move forward, but this is the rig that I'm using, so if you like the sounds that you're hearing, if you like the things that you're seeing, this is all fairly accessible stuff. I hope this has been helpful. I hope you're enjoying the music that I'm making, and thank you to everybody who's stopping by. I'll talk to you again soon.